boosting. So we're gonna start with tarot, just see the complete energy before I go to bed, right? My name is Mimi, welcome to my channel. So the energy is of young feminine energy, so that's being risen, playfulness being risen, given to God. Yeah, there seems to be a cutting, or how do I explain this? This is like, that's the energy of not being able to see past something, or not being able to see something. It's like a battle, warfare. I'm getting so many headaches today. So many headaches today. Yeah. So there's protection. You know, it's kind of like we'll cross the bridge when we get there energy. So we're here and it's time to cross that bridge, right? And that's how we're going to get that boost. The Two of Swords now has to be cleared out. Oh, I knew it. Young feminine energy to high vibrational divine feminine energy is here, right? This line here. So this is like, okay, let's see what it is. Let's keep going, right? This is a calling. So there's a calling, and then there's the energy of people not wanting the calling to be seen, not wanting the calling to be heard, not wanting the calling to be acted upon. So that's the energy that there was a different energy there before someone tried to disrupt it. Okay, and that was what was going on all day today. So it's like the energy of breach, right? Someone wanted to breach, right? Momentum, right? They wanted to breach momentum. This is like when you're about to blast off, boost off, right? And someone like cuts, like, you know what I mean? Cuts the gas chamber, removes the plug, right? Tries to do something, right? That's basically throwing like a monkey wrench, or however they call it. Yeah, it's like being sent back to sender, and in the worst kind of way possible, right? In the worst way possible, with 10 of Swords immediately. Yeah, and it's coming straight from Kingdom. It's coming straight from God. God is like defeating, Kingdom is defeating that devil, right? Yeah, because because they were planning on exasperating energy. So we're gonna do this right now. We're gonna find out what has occurred, what has happened, all that jazz, right? Where, how. So sodomite energy basically actively corrodes the vessel with false intimacy, competes sexually opposite gender. Leviticus 18:22, Romans 1:26 through 27, Surah 7:80 through 81, 10 evil acts, third body evil. Okay, the challenge, they wanted to be the pressure to survival of sudden disruption. So they wanted to cause a sudden disruption. So the real market is what it is that is being broken into, right? Like breaking the glass ceiling. So the glass ceiling has been broken. There's no longer a crisis disrupted market. The devil has been slain of the false crisis disrupted market. The real market will be revealed now. Yeah. Profaner is being shown, right? They're being shown, they're being exposed, quite literally. So stews in disgratification, in distraction, mocks innocence in vain, right? They come off very like zombie-like, right? They come off very like very zombie-like, right? So NPC behavior, but like zombie NPC behavior, right? So that's what's being exposed. So the real market that they were disrupting is going to be shown, right? It's going to be shown. It's going to come through. Right, there it is. So they were trying to wear a false navigator mask. They were trying to be me, quite literally. They were trying to be the navigator. So I'm a galactic Skywalker, but I also happen to be the Empress as well, right? This is kind of just how ranking works in a situation, right? Just because right, you know, this is what I'm trying to say. Just because I'm the Empress doesn't mean that anyone who attempts to become a Galactic Red Skywalker or who's trying to increase their ranking as a Galactic Sky or a Skywalker is going to all of a sudden become the Empress. That's not how it works, right? So it's like, I'm a chef, I'm an artist. It makes sense, right? But then I'm also an economist. I'm also a businesswoman. It also makes sense, right? It's all together. I'm an innovator. That makes sense, right? Because that's the experience level, right? So it's like all one. That's those individuals or those individuals, right? Lord is telling me those people. So it was like, what'd you call it? It's a false union of individuals that attempt to make it seem as if that they are one as a people, but that's not who I see as people. Those are not people. Like I said, false NPC behavior energy. They come across as if that they're one people, but they're not, right? There's no honor amongst thieves kind of energy, right? Sort of my profaner, right? But they're being destroyed now. So it's kind of the energy of like when if it's like if someone is giving back shots to a girl and then calling her all sorts of names, that's kind of the energy. You know what I mean? But then it's also like when one time I was like, I was being sexed up and this guy was recording me all of a sudden, right? And I didn't like know or notice or something like that. That's another thing of profanity, right? So they mock innocence. The chariot is here, meaning that the boost is here for us. False witness persona. So I realized in America, right? So if two people decide to go against you in court, right, and you're alone type shit, like all of a sudden you're guilty. So the whole innocent until proven guilty bullshit isn't real. You know what I mean? It's just not real. Like it's a lie. And so the court system is being dismantled as well because it's false advertising. So the so that's being another thing. So lockbox persona is being dropped, right? So like whatever persona they were trying to use to hold dangerous secrets and hint at others to hints at them to keep others compliant, right, is being dropped, right? So there's a whole sweep of the system now. So twists and invents accounts to sway judgment. See what I'm saying? So they twist and invent accounts to sway judgment. So now inventorship is being given back to God, right? Liberty is being given back to God, right? All of it is being given back to God. All of it is being given back to God, basically. And so the system that they wanted to manifest, right? So the pressure that they wanted to put on individuals, people, was pressure for survival during economic shutdown. So they wanted to put pressure on the people, we, the people. They wanted to put those individuals, wanted to put pressure, right, for people to be, to manifest survival, right? Why? Because of an economic showdown. So they themselves wanted to manifest an economic showdown. They wanted to be entertained by an economic showdown, right? So it's through the recessionary market. They wanted to be that. But then, like I said, they disrupted the actual recessionary market, which would also be like the housing market, right? So the nobility within that would be endurance. So this is something that, has been created in order to basically filter out those who choose to endure and those who refuse to endure. So like people who choose to be lazy within the situation that they know that they can take advantage of the system for. So people who pretend to be, unemployed, or people who pretend like as if that they don't have, like, you know what I mean, that they have disabilities when they're really deformed. You know what I mean? But the deformity doesn't stop them from working. They want to pretend as if it does. You know what I mean? To the point of mental incapacitation. So that's a whole different story, right? So like it's like a whole bunch of these individuals are being caught now because they were trying to falsify an economic showdown when there's already an economic showdown. So faith was what they were trying to break, right? So serving faithfully is what they couldn't handle. They couldn't handle people who actually serve faithfully, right? So let's say, imagine that there's no corrupt cops, right? So they wanted to manifest more corruption in the system in order to cause lack of faith so that they can pretend as if that they are the recessionary market, right? So This is all in the name of resilience, right? They wanted to be able to trade in resilience, trade like this is basically going back to slavery days. People say that. It's so funny to me. But basically, this is going back to apartheid in America, right? Where those who were the most resilient slaves got the better jobs, right? And then the people who weren't as resilient got the really shitty jobs so that they could die off really quickly, right? Economic showdown. You see what I'm saying now? So they wanted to buy and sell resilience, right? So, but now it's like there are people who are extremely resilient. They're living up to what, 20, 30 years on the streets, right? They could have been working just fine. They could have been doing just fine, right? But people are trying to feed them drugs, feed them lies, feed them this, feed them that, right? And then there are people who barely will survive a day in the streets, right? But then they're in these like in these types of luxury homes trying to cause difficulties for everybody else who is resilient. So now there's a whole bunch of people who are living 20, 30 years in the streets at the same energetic, you know what I mean, time period as someone who is living 20, 30 years inside a really fancy home because they feel like it. You know what I mean? Because they're fucking deformed. Now the level playing field is going to be leveled, right? This is a recessionary market. If you can't handle the kitchen, right? If you can't handle the heat, get the fuck out the kitchen. That's basically what's going on there. They need to go into homeless shelters now. Those individuals, they need to go and find some place safe to be. They need to go and build their endurance. That's what they need to do. They need to go and be resilient and find merit in their behavior, in their resilience, because they're not going to be able to get shit anymore. Is what it is that's going on. Okay. As for you guys in the collective, how you're going to be able to overcome the recessionary market so that you can, overcome these circumstances with your endurance, because you guys are an enduring crew. You guys have been through a lot. You deserve the best. That's just how it is. Those of us that are belonging in kingdom, we just really worked really hard to be there. You know what I mean? We're just really happy and privileged to be there. We're just really happy and privileged to honor it, right? So it's get restorative, right? So now is the time to definitely restore things into its final shape, which is its original ideation, right? So finally things can become, yeah, exactly. Get real, get private, right? That's just the reality of the situation. So now you can understand how you can defeat the economic showdown. They do not want people to be real. They don't want people to get real and get private, right? And get a warranty, right? Get warranty. Make sure that you are understanding that your actions are insured and that you are insured within the situations, right? So like for example, um, if you're planning on meeting a supplier for your new business, right? Then make sure that your supplier isn't gonna fuck you over, right? Because there's an economic showdown. That is the challenge, right? Make sure. That's basically what it's saying. Make sure you're getting life insurance, health insurance, care. Make sure that you're being warranted within a situation, right? That whatever it is that belongs to you is warranted to you, right? So yeah, it's coming out again. Get warranty. Make sure that it belongs to you. Okay. So that's another thing, is that they're gonna try and make throw you off balance by falsifying. Yeah, it's coming out again. Warranty, get warranty, get warranty, get warranty, get warranty. This is going to ensure your survival within a situation, right? That's basically the final, what you call, a message about the whole situation. And let's close this out. Okay, let's close the whole thing out now. So now I'm closing out all the portals, all the cycles. Everything here is going to be shut down. It's going to be like a pillar is going to be put right in the middle of here. So basically everything here is going to be cleared out. Everything here in this facilities, building, whatever the fuck it is going to be cleared the fuck out. It's going to be like anyone who tries to get here hits a wall, right? We're going to be leaving, and everybody is going to have to leave, right? So there's freedom, right? Within the circumstance, situation, creative freedom, liberation. Like I said, liberation is going to God. Look at them. Yeah, there's a rebirth. Yeah, there's a rebirth of yeah, there's a rebirth. They were trying to cause a lot of issues. So this is what it is now from the outside, like looking in. They're trying to look in from the outside. when it comes to, what you call it, what is going to occur. So it's like them trying to lash out at we the people when God is the one doing it, basically. You know what I mean? God is the one putting all this together. God is the one laying all this out. God is the one working all this out, right? God is the one that works the system, not these fools, not those atrocious idiots, right? God is the creator of court. God is the creator of liberation. God is the creator of justice. God is the creator of balance. God is the creator of equilibrium, and they cannot have it. They cannot control it. And that's basically, yeah, they cannot falsify transpiring, and that's what it is. They wanted to falsify a way that something transpires. That was the travesty is what I'm hearing. That was the notion they were trying to pull. The transpiring of events had occurred the way that they wanted it to occur within a perspective, and they are trying to make it seem like to other people, to the public, that as if that's not how, like, they actually wanted it to occur. Like, you know what I mean? So now solace is being given to God, honor is being given to God, labor is being given to God, justice is being given to God. Yeah, and there's a tower to those fools, like I said. That's it. So now the ancestors are stepping in to work their work, right? To work it, work it. They're working it. Ooh, they working. Archangel Michael's backing them up, right? These grievances, those grievances that they seem to have when it comes to successing and enduring and resilience and hope and love and joy and all those things, all those grievances, they're being dropped, is what is occurring. Yeah, they're being dropped. They're false transpiring that they call a grievance is being witnessed as defamation, right? Is being witnessed as defamation, is being witnessed as an attack. Yeah, and they can't burden our destiny. They are going to be the ones to carry the burdens, is what it's giving. Those, yeah, they're going to have to carry them, but that's the only way to build endurance and resilience within a situation and circumstance, right? They created their own burdens and now they got to carry it. That's it. That judgment is in reverse for them, and that means they're going to hell. Cycle complete. That's it. Bye bye, you guys.